Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. I hope everybody is well. It's good to be back. Just so everybody knows, I am still working on the Exorcist thing. I started editing it today, so I'm about a quarter of the way through, and I will see how much of that I will get through tomorrow. I hope it's going to be worth the wait because I absolutely adore that film, and it's been an interesting one to write. So it's just doing the editing. The editing always feels like a chore these days. It's the bit that kind of well, because you know my style of editing, it's a little bit functional, to say the least. So yeah, it's always that final push. So yeah, good evening to everybody. Of course, see Kerry is in, which is lovely to see you, Kerry. I hope things are working out slowly but surely for you, and of course everybody else is in as well, so it's all good to see everybody knocking around. I think somebody was talking about the remake of Suspiria, which I actually really like. I really respect it because it takes the same story ish and then kind of repurposes it. It's not going to be for everyone. It is, as was kind of mentioned, a little bit more artsy in some respects, but I thought the story was absolutely fascinating. So, but talking about good films, I did watch Pig. Finally got hold of that. That is actually a really damn good film in my opinion, and one of the best examples of Nick Cage when he's actually in a good acting position. And I got that off the back of I just sat down and watched Mandy again recently. Another film that I actually I didn't enjoy it that much the first time, but subsequent viewings have kind of made it sort of improve for me. So yeah, must be about 3 versions of Exorcist 3. I know there's certainly 2 because I've got the version with 2 on. I don't know about a third one. There might be like a TV cut or something like that, or I don't know. You know, there's usually a few sort of variants and that kind of stuff. So tonight, obviously, for this Halloween, we're not watching very Halloweeny films, but they are very much in a splatter horror kind of end of things. So I'm perfectly happy to go with that. We're not going with the old mainstays of films like Halloween and stuff like that. Although if I was going to do one, I would do the third one and probably get some abuse for it. But we are going with Peter Jackson's early films. We are starting off with Bad Taste, a film that was something of a legend on the playground back in the day. I heard about this thing, this really ultra gory film from a very enthusiastic horror film fan. And eventually I saw it, and I picked it up on VHS. I sadly don't have that anymore, but there you go. So that's going to be the first one, and then we're going to follow it up with the with this. It almost feels like it could be a sequel in some respects. It's sort of a spiritual sequel in some respects, I think, in terms of Peter Jackson's kind of oeuvre of films. But yeah, we're going to go with Braindead, otherwise known as Dead Alive, which I never liked that title, the American title Dead Alive. Braindead sounds far more fun. Bad Taste is awesome, as is a lot of early Jackson. Yeah, I liked The Frighteners quite a lot as well, although it felt like the film was compromised in some respects. But so if everybody starts getting themselves sort of queued up to start that, and I think I need to just I'm going to repost the link because we just had a better version. So there it is. That version's a little bit higher quality than the version that I had found, so we will sit down and watch this one. So thank you for that. Someone says can't stop at the karaoke bar. Okay. You're going to crank out the Monster Mash, are you? I'm probably just going to have video of that posted on Facebook there, Simon. But I hope you have a good time. I haven't done karaoke in a very, very, very long time. Not done it that much in the past, but I have done it a couple of times. Braindead needs a new Blu-ray 4K. It needs a fucking release apart from anything else. Because it's not. I don't think it's available at the moment, is it? It's one of those that sort of slipped away. What did everyone think of Meet the Feebles? That is actually one that Kerry has been kind of urging me to watch. So I've still got to sit down and watch it. It looks a little odd to me. I'm not sure if I'd be into it, but I will give it a go. Heavenly Creatures is a very different movie. It's based on a true story, so Jackson couldn't have done a lot of gore. But that's the thing. He sort of changed his tack with movies an awful lot. The sort of stuff he was doing when he was a younger man, very enthusiastic filmmaker, was the sort of stuff he wanted to play with. I don't think he wanted to sort of just be the gore guy. Fair enough. Lots of people really loved the Lord of the Rings films. I'm a bit kind of... I enjoyed them well enough, but I'm not that keen to go see them again. I used to have them on DVD, and then I got rid of the box sets eventually, just because I was like, well, I'm just not going to watch them again. I'd seen them enough. But less said about the Hobbit, the better. But that was a project he was sort of just... They threw cash at him to do the film. He just kind of went, oh God, alright, I'll do it. Oh dear. Yeah, it's next rated The Muppets. I've seen little bits and pieces of it, and I've never really been that drawn to it. A lot of people have been, but I'll make a point to sit down and watching it at some point. But that's just me. I think my landlord's banging around in the shed again. 2 seconds. Let's shut that door. Hopefully he won't start drilling and knocking and hammering. Braindead is called Dead Alive in the US, yes, so just mentioned that. It was a bit of a crappy name. It's Dead Alive. Oh dear. Right. Okay, so if everybody's sort of just about ready, give us a thumbs up and we'll get started with it in a minute, because these aren't the longest films, but they certainly aren't the shortest either. And we'll get cracking. Sorry, my landlord's banging around in the shed. It's I'm hoping I'm not going to have to go out there and tell him to keep it down. Shouldn't be doing that this time of the evening. Weird. I got myself a couple of new hard drives just recently, so I'm going to be kind of upgrading and some LED stuff. But most importantly, I got this thing. I'll take that off. Look at that lens. Oh, I'll try and get it. Big old fisheye lens, which I've been having a play with. Been enjoying taking the photos recently, and as anyone on Facebook will know, because I've been kind of boring everyone with my photos and that kind of stuff. But now I've got a really good selection of lenses. They're not the highest quality ones, but they are good enough for what I do. But I took the tracking mount out and I kind of took some night shots, which was kind of fun. Saw Life Among the Cannibals the other day, VHS. Now I know why you like it so much. It is a great film. It's a great film. I just... one of my favourite scenes is when they're in like a restaurant. It's like Juliet Landau and the hero of the film kind of like sat there having a conversation, and in the back is this really sort of downbeat kind of morose folk singer type, and she's like just every so often it would sort of cut to her. And just like going, like, singing lyrics about kind of how nobody will care if she goes off and shoots herself. You just, in the background, you sort of see her put the guitar down and walk off, and then about, 30 seconds later you hear a gunshot. It's really twisted sense of humour. Harry Bromley Davenport recommended that to me, and I found it on VHS, and it was like kind of, oh God, it's a bit of a lost gem, that one, although he was trying to revive it at some point. But I don't know how far that went. Wee bit of trivia: Bad Taste took as long as Eraserhead to make. Yes, because they were working basically, in their spare time and whenever they could afford to do stuff, that kind of thing. So yeah, you can actually see Peter Jackson sort of aging and changing shape even, because he's quite heavy in some scenes and then quite light in others. So I assume got at least one thumbs up. So I'll ask just one more time: are you guys ready to go? And we will get cracking. 4 years, I think, 7 years on and off. Yes, something like that. Yeah, it was kind of nuts. But it was an amateur project. They were just doing it for shits and giggles. But Peter Jackson, being the consummate filmmaker he was, put a lot of extra effort in on the side. But yeah, it was a real Amdram style movie. Jackson got a very late injection of money from the New Zealand film industry. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Brilliant. Okay, so let's get going with this. We'll start. Count to 5. Start on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll go. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I love how his production company's Wingnut Films. It's one of those things with this, isn't it? With the New Zealand accents, it does have that kind of. There's something about the Australian and New Zealand accents which just kind of make you not want to take them too seriously. And I got family down in Australia, so I'm not being nasty with the Australians or the New Zealanders. I just love how kind of perverse some of the stuff that's in this film. It really kind of is. It's just it's so over the top. Everything about this film is really, really over the top. You need to make your own spiritual homage to Bad Taste for Your Buddies. Yeah, do it. No, I think Wingnut is. It could be a reference to several different things apart from anything else, but I've never heard him explain it. I apologise if you can hear the banging in the background. God damn it. Really bad timing. I'll just try to keep half an ear on that. Sorry. You should watch Black Sheep sometime. If you can find a copy of it. When did he die? I can't. Was it recently? I love how these aliens are like really, really dumb as well, apart from anything else. They could have called this movie Braindead. Well, it was a very small crew, wasn't it, on this? Quite apart from the central characters. Yeah, I mean, you got Peter Jackson plays these 2 roles in this. And so it was just friends, really, kind of like, they'd slap a wig on them in one scene, take it off for another, and do whatever. I do remember this when I first saw this, because I wasn't used to films that are as gory as this, and this does get gory. It's all very comic book, but it turned my stomach the first time I saw it. I hope he does get high quality versions of these. I'm so used to looking at it in VHS standards, so left-handed representation, yes. There he is, the man himself. It's just... Oh dear. Yeah, and the body count rises. Yes, it does. There'll be a few more of them along the way with this. I love how, it's just like, yeah, dispose of the bodies just in the hedgerows and whatever. I think well, the thing with him is he's a bit of a he's a bit of a mentaler, isn't he? To say the least. So he's probably just enjoying it so much he's dribbling. Early appearance from Boris Johnson. It's a good point. Little tidbit, Derek never shares the screen with another one of the boys. No, he doesn't, does he? And I assume that's actually, as much as anything, because he was he was doing the directorial duties, and I think he was filming a lot of it as well. So if it wasn't one of him, it was one of the other principals. Did Peter Jackson star in either of these films or just direct them? Well, Peter Jackson is Derek there, and he plays another character in this, significant character in this as well. I never thought of it as that, Kieran. That's a very good point. Notice the date on the charity envelopes is October 31st. The wonderful thing about this movie, as far as I'm concerned, is it's as lo-fi as it can be. It's actually got an awful lot of Peter Jackson's filmmaking chops in it. This isn't just a ragtag little film. It's a good indication of what his ability as a director. I love that they kind of dress all the aliens up the same in the cheapest clothes it can find. Oh, I agree, Kieran. That would, it'd be interesting to see the way they would have taken it. But I like the character. Solo a film for now, yes. It's a change that you can put on a DVD blue and watch and chat. Imagine what it's like when I do kind of like when I'm doing streams with other people on. It gets very much more complicated because I can't have the video on my computer, so I have to have it on the tablet. So there's a lot more kind of going on. Well, it's New Zealand. I think an awful lot of New Zealand is either mountains or seaside. Elevated music for headbangers, yes. I'm not entirely sure, but I think the music that you just heard was actually by one of the principal's bands. I think. I could be wrong. And The Exorcist, yes. Although I have to say, at the moment, The Exorcist 3 is my favourite. They'll be significantly older now. Intergalactic wanker. Ah, thank you, Kieran. Oh, and there he is again. And as you see, it's like this whole sort of thing. It's like he's got a bit more weight on him at this point. So I'm not sure if there was a passage of time between the two elements of this particular scene actually being filmed. Well, Kieran, it has to be said that this film isn't the most mature of Peter Jackson's films in terms of the story. It is still kind of filled with the frivolity of youth, shall we say. As comical a character as Derek is, he's also something of a psycho as well. Which is, why I think he was drooling at what he was watching earlier on. He's not exactly normal. Hollywood is dead. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. See? Film's very complete. He gets the little establishment of the thing that he gets hooked up on. Oh dear. He's screwed up. Paul Jackson versus Paul Jackson, yes. Like I say, I using him as a battering ram. I think that the two elements of like this what you see here with him as Derek is earlier, and as the alien is a later on filmed scene. It's a bit Invasion of the Body Snatchers, isn't it, that scream? Well, Peter Jackson did have a very decent feel for humour, just for the absurd. And both of the films we're watching tonight are really good examples of that. And even stuff like The Frighteners. Oh, I agree, Kieran. It's a real good variety of shots, and it's all kind of fits together nicely, doesn't it? He's a bit of a bastard. Yeah. And Derek's don't run. A little bit of trivia. I believe in New Zealand, Derek is if you call someone a Derek, it's an insult. It's like they're a simpleton. It's it weird seeing Peter Jackson without his beard. Well, I guess it is these days. I mean, the first time I ever saw him was in this film, so. Peter Jackson talks about these weapons because they couldn't get hold of like the real thing or even kind of deactivated version, so they made these guns, and apparently they were so delicate that if you knocked them around too hard, they would just fall to pieces. It's no wonder that goes. There's a battering ram then. Some of the pistols in this are real. The guy who plays the alien cook was a gun club member. Yeah. But I think all the automatic sort of stuff, the Uzis and things, were all fake. Cheap out sound effects for the win. It's so gross. Oh, thank you, Stoke Scotty. And bear in mind, this is like the first kind of like really gory film I'd watched. And I'd seen a few horrors before, Alien and that kind of stuff. But this is the first one I watched of this kind of nature, where it's the full-fledged, over-the-top splatter. Oh, sound effects. You kind of get the feeling that Derek was probably the kid that was bullied on the playground an awful lot, and then sort of grew up into this rather exotic person, I guess. Peter Jackson does know how to mug to the camera, though, doesn't he? I guess it could be looked at it like that. Certainly sections of it. I mean, there's a lot of Monty Python kind of humour throughout this film. Oh, it's definitely well filmed, and they probably did a lot of stuff on this shoot that they really shouldn't have done. I don't know if it's just clever filming or not, but that really does look like it was a dangerous location. It's like he gets to smack the magazine with his forehead. He really is the nerd gone wrong, isn't he? I just love how juvenile this film is. It's just in the right way. I say juvenile, but it's also, as filmmaking goes, for the resources that they had, it's a really quite sophisticated film in terms of how the effort and the skill that went into doing it. When you consider how low rent a lot of films from people in the same position would be. They did a fantastic job with this. I mean, they're blessed with an awful lot of really, really good countryside as well, so wonderful places to take shots. I mean, just this scene, because you got Peter Jackson fighting himself in this scene. It's incredible how well made it is. Me. It's a bit like Evil Dead 2 horror comedy. Yeah, yeah. Here comes our victim. I think that's what separates his work from the rest, even in a no-budget movie. He understood editing to the max. Great editing skills, yes. And just very resourceful. If there's something he wanted to do, I don't think there was anything that would stop him doing it. He'd find a way. One of the things about this film is a lot of the effort he went into to make things like an impromptu Steadicam and a crane, things like that. How much trouble could have been avoided if Barry had landed that shot? He's turned his toes up. Yeah. I think my DVD is running faster than you probably. I'll tell you where we're at once in a while if you remind me, but we're currently 27 minutes and 33 bit in, but they're just driven away from the road closed nuclear contamination sign, and we just cut to the victim just walking into the village. I suspect this is probably taken from an NTSC source, so then there may be a time difference between your version. Peter Jackson's done a lot of films now. The dog survived. That's a horror cliche. You got to love that western shot, though, haven't you? Close up in the eyes. Oh, that is so gross. How long does your DVD run? Because this one runs 1 hour 30, 134. It's always the cocky bastard, isn't it? Yeah, I've got time to stick the finger up. You kind of blow your time advantage by tripping over. That's got some great music on this. You use that in your documentary. Car won't start. Another horror cliche. Is the guy with the knife Peter Jackson? I know he played the guy with glasses. Yes, yes, he is. He plays two main characters, that alien and Derek. Yeah, yours is a PAL version, and this is probably NTSC. Sort of shitty window, yeah. It's not exactly in a posh car, is he? It's like a super gory version of some mothers do have them. I'm half expecting Peter Jackson to lower himself through the top of a church scene and say, "Ooh, Betty." Paul Jackson has a theme in his first movies about Morris Minors. I suspect is what they had. To say the least, this was, like I say, it's guerrilla filmmaking to a great extent. They were just using whatever they had and whatever the locations. This particular building that they're running up to is it's like a local authority sort of building. So it's like, they just sort of asked for permission to use it. New Zealand looks like a nice place. Yeah, it's certainly got its charms. Don't think it's quite as poisonous as Australia either. Be right back. And we've gone into Texas Chainsaw Massacre territory here. You're going to suck his brains out. I apologise, I've got to go off for just a second. I'll be right back. But I'm back. Not the seagull. Oh, that's a shame. Not one of the most effective effects in the film. Unfortunately, those seagulls. Oh, I remember first time I saw this scene. It was like, oh Jesus, that was really gross. That is still icky to this day. Well, my friend from Germany, he's done some. It is working with Marion Dora. If they do ever release this, if ever do release this on Blue, I hope there's an extra or three in on making of the movie. There is a documentary which they could, just get the rights to or license to put on, which was Good Taste Made Bad Taste, I think it was called. But it should have a decent Blue. Derek has the Beatles mobile. Yes, he does. Deny everything. No worries, Kerry. So about these getting locked and loaded scenes that I always enjoy. Yeah. There's plenty of nods to other films and TV series and the influences of Peter Jackson. I mean, just the way Derek's dressed kind of gives it that sort of Doctor Who nerdy vibe. Oh yeah. Well, you got the your various kind of stock film characters, haven't you? I mean, you've got like kind of like the special forces type. You've got the Rambo type. You've got the nerdy kind of psycho type. Bad Taste: The Secret of Postmodern Adventure. It's something I like about films like this when the directors aren't being overly self-conscious about kind of what they're making, and they're showing their heart on the sleeve, wearing their heart on the sleeve when it comes to kind of like the influences and stuff. But you get that, with the Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg kind of stuff as well. Would be fun if he was, Kieran. Sorry, Kerry. This is Peter Jackson absolutely hamming it up to. Yeah, it is a great line, isn't it? They died today, murdered by some real arseholes. Just cleaned it a bit. Oh dear. It's just this wild imagination that is showing in this, and the fact that they've gone to the trouble to make a head with a spine hanging out that will kind of wiggle around and do stuff. It's really cool. Because getting to the point where we get one of the grossest scenes in it. I wonder how much of these aliens were kind of like, Lord Crumb in particular was sort of inspired by like the Douglas Adams sort of in the Vogons. Yeah, to serve, man. Yeah. Oh dear. I got a chunky bit. Oh. I mean, it's not quite Sarlo gross, but it's pretty close. Homo nuggets. Like I say, it's pretty juvenile, the sense of humour. Yum. I did go back for seconds. Little nod to the Waltons. Or was it Little House on the Prairie? It's one of the two. Waltons, thank you, Kerry. Just that simple little cut. He just throws her clothes on the camera. To just the little things like that are just what kind of makes you see that Peter Jackson is actually a damn good director, even in a film of this nature. Brown glacé, not quite giallo. Oh, Peter Jackson, he's such a ham in front of the camera, isn't he? In a good way. I did get the feeling that AK-47 that was wandering around us a few seconds ago was probably a real one. Likely deactivated, of course. I did do a show with at my theatre that had 4 real AK-47s involved in it, all deactivated on that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's kind of weird going. Yeah, I've got actual kind of military hardware in it. Yeah, I agree, Kerry. It's it is one of those things. So that's the thing I think that shines through with this film. It's not just the enthusiasm with which he made it, but he clearly had, you know, a real sense for the craft, despite the fact that he had like next to no resources. If I'm not wrong in thinking, I think the way they did the gunfire on this, the muzzle flash, was he pinpricked through the film stock and then re-exposed it or something like that. Well, or kind of like reshot it, basically. So he projected it with the holes in, so you'd get the gunfire, and then copied it. Who dares wins? It really kind of, it has a feeling that it wants to go down that line to some extent, doesn't it? But you get real sense for the kind of films that he watched before making this. Maybe you're right, Kieran. I know he's mentioned it in the past. Hello, Adam. Thanks for stopping by. This ratty old vehicle. Just this mad music when Derek comes back on screen. There's a certain sort of point of view sort of thing going on. You know, Derek's world is utterly unhinged. I'm glad Lexi's enjoying it. You have a good evening, Adam. And again, thanks for stopping by. Oh no, I wouldn't say it was entirely that, but there's little bits of it which are very Derek, if you know what I mean. There's if there was, I mean, it's not consistent throughout the entire film, but a lot of the scenes that Derek's in are very skewed to his kind of mindset. But it is a film that, you know, if you were going to be critical about this movie, particularly, it's a movie that really kind of like changes tack so often. It's one movie, then it's another, then it's another, then it's another, but it kind of works as long as you don't kind of expect that sort of consistency with it. I love that. It's just I did not notice that, Kieran. Don't get me wrong, I don't think this is a movie that really kind of bears much reading. Because, primarily it is just a damn good time. And a very competent one at that. Has to be said, that is a big guy, isn't it? I mean, it's not the most flowing of fight scenes, but it is really well thought out. Not a bad dummy shot. And to be honest, they've got a couple of really good dummy shots in this, like when Derek goes over the cliff earlier on. Actually, very, very well done. Again, it's down to the editing. All right, okay, thank you, Kieran. Oop. I don't think Derek's journey into kind of like being the psychopath he's turning out to be was a very long journey. Got good blood spurts, I'll give him that much. Not sure that one's really a this channel movie kind of movie, Richard. But you never know. There's that cliche, the bad guy just sort of like wanting to hang around and wait, just savour the moment. Now he's got his Rambo head strap. I have put that one onto the my bookmarks, so it's oh dear. See, this is where it gets all a little bit Monty Python. It's like the art of camouflage sketch. Paul McCartney does look surprised there. I think this car was actually something that a local guy had made, and they just borrowed it for the movie. He's got that dribble on again. But like I say, he was doing it at the beginning of the film before he, shall we say, lost his decency when he stood on his brain. Well, that's a sentence I did not think it was going to come out of my mouth. You get a feeling some of those squibs got a little closer than they thought they were going to get. Excuse me. Not sure that plant would be entirely bulletproof. Aliens and guns, what's not to love? Yeah. Yeah. Suspiria is not really a giallo, though. Giallo, strictly speaking, is a crime thriller. Crime mystery thriller type film. Although they have, giallo elements do carry across into other genres, but that's not specifically what they would be. Not in a pure sense, anyway. He wasn't the only one that would have done that either, John Woo. I think given what's happened just recently, I'll leave you to draw your own conclusions on what I think of that as a practice. Wasn't it Seven Samurai where they actually used real bows and arrows to shoot at the hero? What an amazing piece of work these alien heads were. And dictated by the size of Peter Jackson's mum's oven. That was the most he could put in there when he was baking the materials. Yeah. Notice no damage done to the car, because that was probably somebody's pride and joy, that vehicle. Oh, really? Okay. It is great creature designer, isn't it? You'll love the bulletproof vests in this film, though, haven't you? It's clearly made out of like exercise mats or something. There's quite a bit of miniature work in this. Well, there's a couple of significant miniature works. We'll talk about that when we get to it, I guess. But there is something which was really impressive. Like I say, it's utterly a work of labour of love, this one. Boom. friend of mine in York's just got his American. I think it's got like a. I think it's got like a Mustang. He's finally managed to get it registered over it. He's a bit obsessive when it comes to the American kind of vehicles and that kind of stuff. There goes the car, yeah. I love the way his head sort of pulses and his little air bladders and all that kind of stuff going on. You'd have to look closely at that shot. See, I kind of got the feeling with that car that they wouldn't have damaged it, because I suspect it belonged to somebody who did not want that to happen. See, that house there is a miniature. That's another miniature. There was about 3 or 4 different models for the house. So there was a large scale miniature and then a very small one. That was the mid scale one, I think. Because obviously the building itself is actually a historical one, so they couldn't exactly do damage to it. Arse hanging out. Yeah, the mansion's just been blown up. Well, from one rocket hit. And now he's Bruce Campbell. It has had a journey. I love that. It's just just the cut-out shape of him with the chainsaw and everything. Well, it's because Alien Ass is funny, apparently. It's good to know that aliens, when you kick them in the nuts, go down just like the rest of us. Right in the alien pods, yes. I think this film was the first time I ever heard the phrase "he's gone ape shit." I love this bit. And that's how New Zealand lamb is made. Again, another very Monty Python thing. Mint sauce, anyway, yes. I love the fact that the house is they just take the lawn with them as well. It's just tense. Oh, that'd be right. Yeah, it's actually about 4 miniatures of the house, because this would be another one. You can't say he didn't make a real meal of this blast off scene. Derek sets off on his lonesome trip across the universe to wipe out the bastards. Doesn't seem to be sinking over. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. So this is the smallest of the models, and apparently it was rotated on a record player. That's the chat box paused. Okay. Okay. He's reborn. Well, that's even worse, isn't it? Have to have a look at that in a minute. Okay. Well, sorry about that. I don't know quite what's going on with the chat box. It seems to have just decided it's not going to play ball. I will give it a bit of a play with in a moment. I'm going to suggest a very quick break. I'll just go back to the opening card for it temporarily. Go grab yourself a drink, whatever, and snack, and get the second film queued up, and we'll get started at some point very soon. So I'll see you again in just a moment. Okay. That seems to be working again for some reason. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That kind of ruined the ending for me there, trying to figure that out. But there you go. I do like I'm Reborn. I thought it was particularly funny. And even anyone doing anything for Halloween tomorrow? No, I'm just chilling out. Something nice to eat. Trying to enjoy the rest of the weekend, whatever's left, and also I've got to do some editing tomorrow, so you never know, I might actually get it finished. That would be nice. Okay, so what I suggest is start giving me a thumbs up when you're ready to go with the next one. We can give it a couple of moments, but yeah, I really enjoyed that film, and comfortably the most gory film I think I'd seen, in terms of kind of like, you know, really explicit sort of just blood and guts. As ridiculous as it is, was something I hadn't really quite experienced before I saw this film. But it's such a joyous way that it kind of just goes for it. It's nothing. There's nothing malicious and nothing particularly nasty about what's going on. It's just fun in that whole kind of Evil Dead 2 sort of vein. So I thought it was very good. Dear, you have the UK quad poster for Braindead. Oh, excellent. Does it really? It's joke reviews on it. That's going to be cool. Ready when I am? Yes, okay. Brilliant. Okay, well, Kerry's ready, so I'm hoping all you guys are good to go. Excellent. Blue Iris is ready, so I'm going to assume everybody's good to go. Brilliant. So we're going to go on 5 and go on go. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, take it easy, Kieran. Nom de plume. Skull Island. Stand up for the national anthem, yeah. It'll certainly be quite a seismic change, Richard. I don't think Peter Jackson was particularly worried about political correctness with this movie, was he? I think you'd be hard pushed to call us offensive, even. It's just so comical. The New Zealand Zoo is apparently quite militant. Yeah. Again, you're getting kind of references and stuff like that, haven't you? Really, with Peter Jackson. Jackson directed a version of King Kong and included a rat monkey scene. I don't remember much of that particular film, but yeah. Sigaya, you got the bite. And I said, when he goes, well, I got some Dettol. Cranial amputations don't tend to go too well, do they? The PJC. This model, the miniature of the airplane, always makes me think of the film Airplane. It's I think Richard Taylor had his work cut out, didn't he? The whole world that this sort of this film is set in, just all every bit of it feels just that little bit off, doesn't it? I mean, more in the sense that it feels like everything feels like it's almost like one of those kind of model villages type thing. I always kind of had a bit of a crush on this lass. The tramp cheering on the protagonist when he's beating up the zombie baby always drives me. Spoilers. Just about everything in this movie is really kind of ramped up in terms of the sort of reality that it's set in. It's very comic book. That's the bad card. Oh, thank you very much. There's a lot of love goes around in this group. It's a neat little stunt. The mother in this is amazing. You've got to admire a performance that is just so comprehensively unlikable. And she just absolutely hits that role so amazingly spot on. Not gonna lie, my mum was. It's the hyacinth bouquet type, isn't it? Nope. Foreshadowing. Oh yes, Blue Iris. I like that exchange. It just kind of works really nicely. Yeah, I'm with Kerry on that one. I can't remember the Frighteners well enough to know if it's the same house. It certainly has the same feel. Although I would have suspected the house in the Frighteners was, at least interiors, as all sets. Which probably is on this as well. Karen Carpenter. Doesn't really look like Karen Carpenter. Well, maybe vaguely. It's kind of fun the way it's sort of constructed this film because it's sort of playing on a few different sort of film genre types. Simeon Raticus. Oh, oh. Kind of would have thought they would have put a little bit more space between the cages, wouldn't you? He really sort of ran with the grotesque characters, didn't he? And I'd say grotesque. I don't mean that the characters are particularly revolting or anything, but in a kind of theatrical sense of grotesque. Worst tour guide ever, yes. I think dribbling the blood of a dead monkey on the shoes of the visitors is probably not, usually in the book of hospitality. Oh, she's kind of a stock character, isn't she? Sort of a more comedic version of the mother from Psycho. It's a nice tank top. Right back. There we go. Did you talk about me while I was gone? Because that's rude. God, she's such a horrible monster. That look in her face is like completely got him under control. Totally under the thumb. She's definitely taking the advice of the cards, isn't she? She's like utterly unquestioning. It's like, yeah, that's the one I'm supposed to be. Zookeeper was Tony Hills, how do you pronounce it? One of the writers. Okay, thank you. He is a pretty good actor, isn't he? in this. So I don't think it's just me. It's actually pretty damn good. I mean, considering the script of this is really and kind of the action is really over the top. You got this sort of melodramatic approach to just about everything, then. And she does, kind of like a great job in it as well. It's not supposed to feel particularly small and natural, that kind of stuff. She's experienced. But it is interesting the way that this film sort of comes together with the visual style and all that sort of stuff. I think it's hard to put my finger on exactly what's going on. It's not quite comic book style. It has elements of that, but it doesn't really have a regular kind of like sort of. It's not like a drama or anything like that. In the way that it's constructed, it's something about the look and the feel of it. Just kind of. I can't even really describe it as a heightened reality because it's almost entirely a fiction in terms of kind of like how it's built and that sort of stuff. Oh, nice. That's a really cool effect. I guess it's sort of in the same vein as something like Evil Dead 2. Is probably where I would put it. Maths are here. It's hodgepodge of genres. Definitely wouldn't say drum. No, no. I mean that's the thing. It's not. It's not done with the. When I mention it, it's more to do with. It doesn't follow any of the conventions of a more kind of dramatic style of storytelling. It's so much heightened from that. Oh, that's gross. I mean, it's almost like a Zucker Brothers movie in some respects. It's kind of weird pantomime sort of cinema. I mean, maybe. I mean, this whole "yo meeting" thing. It's kind of very Monty Python esque. Maybe that's what I'm kind of feeling with this. Is it's that very Monty Python kind of sort of influence that seems to be in Peter Jackson stuff. Steak and mash with beans, dirty bastards. So grim. I love the way it's even the sound effects of him eating is just like kind of like, oh. And that woman represents the audience at least. The pudding scene is permanently tattooed on my brain. Yeah, it is. This is Peter Jackson throwing everything he can at the screen to make you want to puke in a fun way. It's just grim, isn't it? But you can definitely kind of, you've got a feel of him sort of honing his craft much further from the basic days of something like Bad Taste. Uh, Obviously, he's got a significantly higher budget. It's a lot more organised as a production. Oh, that's grim. It's funny, really, because this movie does remind me an awful lot of Life Among the Cannibals in kind of the way that the tone works. Because that film also has this really sort of weird, heightened kind of sense of humour and so on about it. Did she is stiff, bereft of life, she rests in peace. Who ordered extra gore with their movie? It doesn't spare you that, does it? And we ain't even anywhere near peak gore at the moment. suppose actually, I mean, I've just thought that I guess the what this would sort of classify as is probably absurdist, which is why it keeps reminding me of Monty Python so much. I think there is definitely a little bit of the Evil Dead 2 in this, isn't there? Isn't there, John? In a weird way, this reminds me of Basket Case. Fair enough. It's just, if only the Archers was like that. Piss take of the Archers on the radio, yes, absolutely. I used to, in one of my previous jobs, I used to end up sort of running around with one of my bosses in the car, in the van, and he always insisted on having the Archers on. It always made me think of this film. Oh, you're welcome, Carrie. So where the fuck does this character come from? I don't know. It's like scenes like this always kind of like make me think Terry Gilliam. I mean, it could so easily be a scene from Brazil or something like that. Just the way it looks, the way it feels, the timing of it. Yeah. Every town in New Zealand has a mad scientist. Yeah. Quite often potentially an escaped Nazi scientist, apparently. Straight in the eye. Up the schnoz or not at all, apparently. Oh no, he's marked. My God. It's a rather ostentatious pendant, isn't it? He's dead tired. Even dead, she's a cock blocker. It's not subtle jewellery, no, it isn't. But it looks good for the stabbing. Oh, Father Ted. Or Father Ted. Read about it. I'd like to say that I wish I knew what you're talking about there, Richard, with the Corrie thing, but I've no idea. And I'd be lying if I said I'd like to anyway, but I guess not a soap fan. But I'll take your word for it, mate. Oh, God. It's like sleazy John Candy. Planes, trains, and inappropriate touching. Well, I wouldn't have done it with an Irish accent because it's the New Zealand version, isn't it? Father Tid. And that's a shit New Zealand accent as well. And I'm thoroughly proud of that fact. Okay, Richard. There you go. Peter Jackson in his little cameo. He's such a horrible guy. Well, it wasn't me, Richard. That's what we're calling it these days. It's mother love. It is kind of weird, isn't it? The more I think about this, this is like a really weird kind of cross between Psycho and Evil Dead. Exactly, John. You're just on the same page, mate. Well, John and I have talked for quite a lot of hours over movies. Almost one of my favourite swear words, or at least kind of like slang words, is uh, Australian and New Zealand with rating. No CGI required for this movie. No. A little bit of a Fulci moment. I do wonder if Peter Jackson actually kind of liked Fulci films. There's definitely There's definitely a bit of zombie flesh eaters in this. Really wish I could do a much better Father Dougal impersonation because I do Ted, dead seem to be coming back from the grave. What are you doing? It sounds a bit mad. A wee bit of Fellini as well, yeah. Fisted by an angel. Definitely getting TCM vibes from this scene. Pretty sure that that's not the way that cornflakes are supposed to be served. It's with a bottle of tranquilizer. Uh oh. There we go. My tether got caught. Is this in the pudding scene? Yeah. It is insane just kind of how much this film just keeps ramping up. Because it gets to a point where you sort of go, you can't possibly get any worse than this. And it does. It just keeps escalating. Definitely an uncomfortable camera angle, that one. This is Peter Jackson literally putting the audience in the position of being pissed on. So, Damn. I bet that was a fun day in the ADR studio. Jackson must have had more money to make this one. It doesn't have that gorilla look in the other film. Yeah, this definitely had a bigger budget and a lot more support behind it than Bad Taste. You have to remember, Bad Taste was basically a hobby film that got out of hand. So extreme stereotypes: greedy uncle, horny priest, town bad boy, overbearing mother. Guess the world just gets too much sometimes. Yeah, it's everything. Everything is just very melodramatic, very kind of like just bigger than it should be. It's larger than life. The stock had risen, made Meet the Feebles with Japanese money, and people were willing to invest thanks to the success of Bad Days. Yeah, it's not like this had a huge budget or anything like that, but Peter Jackson, particularly in his early mid career, was very very resourceful with whatever he had. And we can argue even with like kind of like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, and things that the companies that he built for that, he did essentially the same kind of things as George Lucas did, in terms of the like technical support companies with Weta and things like that. Um, but this was really sort of still back in the day where he was making films in the old-fashioned way, practical effects and writing and decent editing, all that kind of stuff. So great, gives you hope that if you keep doing what you love, it can become a reality. Yeah, it takes a lot of drive, but you can always make a career of one kind or another. I mean, it's like my one of my favourite directors, obviously Jess Franco. You see how hard he had to work. Did filmmaking because he liked doing filmmaking. Sometimes it was a business, sometimes it was for pleasure. While he was never like a massive success, he made a living out of it. It's amazing effects in this, though, isn't it? The special makeup effects and that kind of stuff. Weta started doing CGI with Heavenly Creatures, but before that, they made a lot of puppets for MTF and practical effects in this. Yeah, I would say that Peter Jackson is a far better filmmaker in general, as a director, writer, that kind of stuff. Far better writer and director than George Lucas ever was. As much as I love the original trilogy of Star Wars. He's got that real Frank Spencer thing going on, hasn't he? The barbed wire. The soundtrack to this is kind of one of those things which I find kind of fascinating with this, because it's got that silent movie era soundtrack to it. Be right back. God, football ball. It's always the quiet ones. You may be right. You may be right there, Kerry. Yeah. Well, one of the things with like kind of silent movies and all that sort of stuff is when you look at the acting, obviously you have no voices, so did very accentuated kind of physical kind of acting. So, but you got that kind of that soundtrack and all that kind of stuff. There's seems to be more than one nod to that kind of era of filmmaking. You could almost take the soundtrack from lots of parts of the soundtrack from this and put them over like Nosferatu or something. I mean, a standing on the rake gag. Come on. Watched World's first film the other day, Too Much Johnson. That was silent, total physical comedy with soundtrack. You can tell Jackson is a total movie buff. Yeah, absolutely. You can find that with a lot of really kind of talented filmmakers, that they are, just they were movie viewers primarily. And you get that with your Sam Raimi's and all that kind of stuff. The whole kind of you can see the things that they watched in the films that they make. Hmm. Yeah, you can, Iris. I'm not quite sure of the provenance of this particular cut of the film, but I assume these somebody's taken the time to put kind of outcuts from the Blu-ray or DVD and shoved them in. I don't know if this has ever had a Blu-ray, but from the DVD extra scenes and shoved them back into the film. I don't know if this is an official cut or not. Jackson's dig at the jocks, yes. I have many, many unpopular opinions. Just ask my bosses at work. John knows what I'm talking about. Those priests are particularly handsy, aren't they? Extreme comb. I've never heard that term. I'm not saying you're wrong there, Blue Iris, but I've never heard that term. It may or may not be a thing, but I kind of see where it's coming from. So it's like The Exorcist 3, the director's cut version of it. It's kind of similar. You get very much varying different levels of quality between the scenes that had to be recovered from a VHS cassette, for instance. I would say, just like Kerry with Orson Welles as an actor versus director. As a director, he faced a lot more challenges. Just simply because of the backlash from Citizen Kane, for one thing. I mean, this is a guy, that not everybody realises worked with Jess Franco. Third Man is excellent. Do have it on the shelf up there somewhere. Oh, you lucky bastard, Richard. I think you've done a bit of travelling now, haven't you, Richard? Animal stimulants. When the shit goes down, you'd better be ready. Nice push-pull effect there. Our third man is German expressionist style lighting, at least in certain parts, which is one of the styles that most influenced my lighting style. If a fake is pretty good. Yeah, I've got it on my hard drive somewhere. I borrowed it from the works, from library at work. So haven't got around to watching it, and I really need to. Uh-oh. Thanks, Kerry. Well, but there's a couple of things which influenced my lighting style, and the German expression style is one, but also the kind of things like Suspiria, Dario Argento's lighting design in his films. Now we can wear those skinny jeans that he always wanted to wear. Yeah. Isn't it amazing? You actually do feel something for that one character in the closet. It's like, oh, it's hard to get emotional about most of the stuff that goes on in this film, but. Yeah, just keep ramping it up. Let's have some impromptu dental work. What was that? A 5,000 watt bulb? There's bits in this that could absolutely easily be from like Return of the Living Dead and stuff like that, isn't it? It's just... Oh, shifts a little. Look at you. Shame on you, Blue Iris. I suppose that's what you call irritable bowel syndrome. Gut instinct. Oh, Selwyn. Oh, Exorcist sick. You mutant little shit. What? It's like you should leave out. It's like leaving Harry from Night of the Living Dead outside the house. No, it doesn't stop, does it, John? That's the thing. This film just goes from, yeah, it starts off from absolutely outrageous and then just keeps ramping shit up as it goes along. Oh, Richard. I may have to kill myself now with this corkscrew. Up the nose or not at all. He's read the comics, apparently. So. Not up the trouser leg. Lexi's just compared Selwyn to Trump. Okay. Just... It's amazing that Peter Jackson can actually do this and not make it utterly offensive in some respects, because we just see the big pile of twitching body parts, and you can only really take it in good humour. Oh God, there they go again. We're not quite there yet, Carrie, but we're close. Uh-oh. It's alright, Carrie. Tends to be why I try to do it on through YouTube. Oh, not him. He was my favourite complete and utter bastard. Now it's a lawnmower time. This is one of those films that has probably the most goriest film that I've ever actually seen. Largely because of this. It is freaking brutal. In a funny way, though. This is how you make a zombie mucknugget. Mucknugget. Zombie mucknugget. Yeah. I'm going to give up on that one. I do wonder how many gallons of stage blood they actually used on it. One of the dead, yes. So whoever gets a short straw has to clean the house, yes. It's the sound effect of it as well. It's like... it's all very wet and gooey. Peter Jackson does spend time thinking about that kind of stuff, sound design. Richard. I think there should be more blood in this. God damn, that's a grim bloody effect. I'll be right back. I mean, there's been more gory films made these days. People getting upset over the mistreatment of the zombie baby. I don't know. I think people got enough of a sense of humour to deal with that. Is there a common theme in Peter Jackson's films about rebirth? Thank you, Iris. Oh yeah, remember that little trick? Well, the first time I read about that, some of the exploitation cinema kind of gimmicks were kind of out there. Well, there you go. Braindead, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed that, because I sure as hell did. It's been a while since I've seen both of those movies, so that was cool. I really enjoyed those. You know, not quite the Halloween-y sort of thing, but you know, we did it our way, shall we say? Burn, baby, burn, Disco Inferno. Yeah. Not quite as not. Yeah, I was going to say something, but it was going to be completely pointless. It's been quite a long stream. So, yeah, like I say, hope you enjoyed that. I think we're going to try and get a couple more in before Christmas. I'm essentially going to try to get one in before I head back to another Gazman. For Christmas, and then we'll do a full-on New Year's stream for those who aren't doing anything better and all that kind of stuff. So it might only be a couple of us on watching some stuff, but the next one will be the one that we mentioned earlier, which has just slipped out of my head at the moment. But I've got it somewhere, so we'll have a look at that next week. Yeah. No, not Calamity of Snakes. We're not doing Calamity of Snakes ever, 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 ever. You know you want to. No, I'm not getting baited into this, you bugger. But we'll call it an evening there anyway. I'm going to continue editing Exorcist 3 review tomorrow. Try and get as much of that done as possible. And yeah, I will see you on the next stream. And you know where to get hold of us. Ramble-Aholics on Facebook is one of the ways. Twitter as well. Or if you just friend me on Facebook. Just make sure you get the right account, because you could go to the wrong account and yeah, you'll not get accepted, whatever. Stuff. But I shall bid you a good night. I hope you had a good evening. I certainly did. And I will see you on the next stream, which will be in a couple of weeks' time. And hopefully I'll be a little bit more awake than I've been tonight. But at least we had some good films to keep us up. Death Smiles on a Murder. Yes, that's the one. That's me being a dick and forgetting. But it's late and I've had beer. Quite a lot of beer. And good movies. So I should say good night, folks. Have a lovely weekend. Look after yourself. And Kerry, it's been absolutely fantastic to have you back. I think we all appreciate having you around. So, yeah, I shall leave it at that. Good night, folks.